Assalamualaikum and very good evening to all of you. Today we're going to have our very first discussion for forensics, basic forensics. For our first practical 2, yes, since that we are second group. Okay. Yes. We already have divided into 2. Okay, which is the current approach in the forensic DNA fingerprint. Okay, so should I read the practical goals?
I think
maybe you should.
It's up to you. It's
Okay. So our goals that we would like to understand what is the roles of DNA fingerprints in the criminal investigation, as well as understanding the methods that we use in the DNA fingerprints and what is its contribution in the forensic science. We also would like to identify the DNA fingerprint methods that is used in Malaysia for personal identification of the criminal suspects, and discussing about the current law enforcement which related to DNA profiling of the criminals, as well as we would like to discuss about the advantages and challenges of having a DNA database in Malaysia. So let's start with our first question about the types of method used in DNA fingerprints and its application in forensic science.
Okay, so I will explain about the method for DNA fingerprinting. So far, I have done research about this and I have found a few. The first one is RFLP, which is also known as restriction fragment length polymorphism. So by using this method, we can analyze the length of the strands of the DNA molecules from the sample with repeating base pair patterns. And the second one is Southern blot, but from the lecture before this, Dr. Suhaili have said that Southern blot is a method that have been used long time ago. So nowadays people doesn't use it anymore. So by using Southern blot, this method is used in molecular biology for detection of a specific DNA sequence in DNA sample. So Southern blotting combines transfer of electrophoresis separated DNA fragments to a filter, for example gel membrane, and subsequent fragment detection by Prac hybridization. And the next one, VNTR, variable number tandem repeat.
Is it Southern blot is the very basic method used for fingerprint?
I don't think it's a basic method, but this method take a longer time to do, and also complicated techniques. So people tend to use a more modern way. Next, I will explain about this. Okay.
You are too eager.
So we go back to variable number tandem repeat or VNTR. So in this method, sequences they are repeated multiple times, and the number of repeats varies, and the number of repeats are detected because these repeats are different between individuals. So it is very useful in forensic. And the next one, PCR. So in PCR, it is used to amplify the desired sequence of DNA that we need. So even if the sample is small, we can still use it to detect the DNA sequence. So this is currently the most famous method. And the last one, STR. Last one, STR, single tandem repeat. It is short tandem repeat detected, and we can also say that it's quite similar to variable tandem repeat, but here the repeat is shorter. So that's all for the method.
Question. PCR with the single tandem repeat, is it similar or what?
Yes.
I think it's quite similar, or it is the same
I
thing.
think PCR PCR can be divided into few what we call it, few experiments. For example, here PCR as the big one, and then we divide it into STR, VNTR, and so on. But
You mean that we need to do PCR first, then we can proceed to other.
no, I mean for STR we also use PCR in it.
We need to amplify the SDR. So actually, between Southern Lot, right, compared to PCR, because currently people doesn't use Southern Lot, right? So what is the difference? What is more sensitive, PCR or Southern Lot?
PCR.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure? I think
Southern Lot is sensitive, but it takes longer time
Ah,
and it's very
yes.
crucial.
Doctor
The
has
PCR is
said
very
about it.
crucial. Yes. This one is used to it in forensic PCR. PCR is more advanced.
Okay, that's all.
Okay, now I will explain about the methods that have been explained by Nabila. Yes, on what is the application of the methods in the forensic science. Alright. For the first method is the restriction fragment length polymorphism, or known as RFLP. Right. As Nabila has said before, it's a molecular method of genetic analysis. So based on these methods, we can identify an individuals based on their unique patterns of restriction enzyme, which is used to cutting in a specific regions of DNA. Since that for each human have a different region, and based on this RFLP, by using the RE, we can cut a certain unique region targeting by the RE, and then we can detect the similarity of the human between the human and the sample that we receive, especially when there's a crime scene, and then we found a lot of samples like follicle hair, something like that, identity. By using this, we can actually identify by looking at the similarity between the samples and maybe our crime suspect. Yes. Okay. As for the Southern blot, actually all the application that said by Nabila, RFLP, Southern blot, VNTR, as well as PCR, the application mostly for the fingerprinting, or known as DNA typing, or DNA testing, or DNA profiling. It's the same. So it's the same, but this that different between of them, it may be due to the time. So the application mostly for the fingerprinting to identify the crime suspects. And for the Southern blot, like Nabila said before, it is took long time, but it is important to analyze the polymorphic regions of the human DNA, so we can detect the specific DNA sequence between individuals. And for the variable number tandem repeats, which is the VNTR, which apply for the hypervariable regions of human DNA, as I said before, that human have very variable repeats in our DNA, right? So in VNTR, the DNA will be cut into fragments by the enzymes, and using the RE, restriction enzyme as well, and depending on the different types of differentiation, and we can recognize the sequence specific of the nucleotide, and we can get a fragments of the DNA produced by the enzymes, and it will show it will differ in length between the individuals. So but there are certain reasons why we use the VNTRs, since that the DNA may appear at different places along the molecules, as well as the region DNA between the cutting sites may contain a fewer than repeats of the nucleotide sequences. So by knowing this and by doing the VNTR, we can identify the criminal suspects. As for the PCR, it's one of the popular methods in forensics due to the fast time, as well as the advantages of the saving time and some money in the lab, since that detecting all the DNA or molecular method is quite expensive. So PCR has been more desirable method, and it's nowadays being used, and in certain cases it allows for a rapid and more correct interpretation of amplification fragments. The advantages of PCR is that even though we have a small sample, we're able to detect since that we can amplify into the more samples, and as well as since that in the certain forensic cases, in the criminal cases, there are certain that we need to repeat the what?
The experiment.
Yes, since that maybe the what? In the court, they ask to repeat. Yes, after the trial, maybe that they are having a doubt. So the advantage of having PCR, since I amplify a lot from the sample, we don't need to find another samples. Yes, so that's all. And so I think it's able to improve the standardization and allow for us exchanging data between the forensics laboratories. So that between different forensic laboratories might having different techniques and a lot of advantages between all of them. So PCR having advantages over to be able to exchange data between the laboratories. That's all. And
Okay, as for my part, the technique that is commonly used in Malaysia, okay, so I got the information from MOSTI, which is the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation in the Department of Chemistry, Malaysia. Okay, so the most commonly method for DNA profiling in Malaysia, there are 3 methods. Okay, the first one is nuclear DNA testing using PCR, STR, which is polymerase chain reaction and short tandem repeat. They combine those two, PCR and STR, and then Y chromosome analysis, and the last one is mitochondrial DNA. Okay, so as for nuclear DNA testing using PCR, STR is the most commonly used method in Malaysia for DNA profiling, since it has the most high discriminating power. So it's a very powerful tool to do the DNA profiling, and followed by Y chromosome analysis. But Y chromosome analysis actually is not very preferable, since it is specifically used for the identification of male individual and paternal lineage only. So only for if the suspect is male, so we can use Y chromosome analysis. And another method is mitochondrial DNA analysis. Okay, so for mtDNA, it is useful for cases involving highly degraded sample such as bone and hair. And for mitochondrial DNA analysis is a maternal inherited, so it is useful for maternal lineage. Okay, so that's all. But if only I can choose one, so it must be the nuclear DNA testing using PCR, SPR.
Is it if you use mitochondrial
DNA.
Mitochondrial DNA if there is no sample which contain nucleus?
Yes. And actually, this one for mitochondrial DNA is preferable if only there's there's only bone. You can only detect one, like there's no blood or anything like that. Then you use mitochondrial DNA.
So first question, right?
yes.
Okay, for the second question, I will read the second question. Is in Malaysia, is there any law enforcement to keep the DNA profile of a person who has been arrested or convicted of certain crime? Actually, in Malaysia, we have the law enforcement that can keep the DNA profile for the crime. The section, this act may be cited as the Deoxyribonucleic Acid DNA Identification Act 2008. This act comes into operation on a date to be appointed by the minister by notification in the Gazette. Gazette is actually, the meaning of Gazette is the official publication of a government, organization or institution listing appointment and other public notices. Okay. Can you please explain about the establishment of DNA database? So that we can anything?
Because I need to mention this one
Okay.
first, then
Alright.
proceed.
Alright. Anything?
So can I mention this one?
Alright. Mention that. No hard feelings.
So actually in Identification Act 2008 there is two divided into two, which is chemist and forensic DNA analysis. So for chemist, it's actually the attachment to chemistry department of. It's actually associated to chemistry department of Malaysia. So we, according to question, so I take another what division, which is forensic DNA analysis. So forensic DNA analysis actually is built, is established to determine the purpose of determining person identity. So through this analysis, we need to take samples from crime scene. So this sample is divided into two, which are non-intimate and intimate. So non-intimate, for example, hair or other than pubic hair, and then nail, swab, that anything, any part other than intimate part. So intimate is saliva, blood, semen, tissue, and tissue taken from private part, and also swab from genital part. So under section 3, this DNA database and data bank Malaysia been established to actually we need a consent from the victim itself, or from the parent and the guardian to take their profile, their DNA information to be keep in our data bank. So there is we need to give an appropriate consent. There is three type of consent, which is this consent will be given to the to a person who is related to the suspect or individual who we want to take their DNA information. So to person who underage, we need to give to their guardian and parents. To the person above 18, we need to give to themselves. And for the suspect or victims or other what we call convicted offenders, so we need if that person is abnormal or injured or does not understand what actually intimate or non-intimate sample, we need to give that consent to their guardian or parents.
Yes, I just want to ask, all of this consent form you just mentioned just now is like for living person, right? What if I mean
the sample we take from
we can that informed consent from during they want for the guardian during the same like we want to say our autopsy, right?
Yes. We take from their guardian or parents. So next is
Section 4.
crime scenes index. So data bank consists of first crime scenes index, which is contain DNA profile or information in related to the sample found. Sample found, which anything sample that found in any place that offense was committed, or within the body of the victim, or anything worn by the victims or of an offense at the time that offense was committed, or within body of any person reasonably suspected of having committed an offense. So next is suspected person index. For suspected person index, the DNA profile from this person include reasonably suspected of having committed an offense,
and include suspects who have not been charged in any count for any offence. And the other one, the crime scene index, other crime scene index is convicted offenders index. This person DNA will be taken, the sample will be taken, and the person convicted of offence under any written law. That's all.
We actually have many index. You have to explain. Yes.
Too much?
Oh,
This.
Maybe we can
Do you
Generally.
Generally.
Just brief.
maybe we should just say that we have a detainee index, drug dependent index, okay, a missing person index, a voluntary index, which is it has many things to be explained.
I have a question.
Yes.
When saying is the index.
Yes.
What does it mean?
This is
What
under
does
the
that
law.
Index. What is index?
It means that I think this index is established for.
I think criteria. Maybe that criteria, which is that crime is fall under what criteria?
Kanun. No.
I mean, this is the law, right?
Yes.
The law, and
the
then
law.
having a different index.
Yes.
and
They
I-
divided into many things.
So all the X is inside the index or index inside X?
Index inside the act.
Yeah,
Under the act.
I explained just now
yeah,
the act under section 3, right? So
yeah.
that's all under section 3.
It's actually has
You
many
made
sections.
section 3 part.
We don't know
Okay.
So here I also have another section.
Wow.
Which I think that it may be worth to be explaining. Okay.
Sounds interesting.
Because we didn't learn these things, so it's quite
Yes, it's quite difficult.
Yeah.
Because every every word is not familiar to us. Okay, so I think that we have to know the objective of the DNA data bank. Here, for section 4, we have two objectives of the DNA data bank.
Section 4, what is the...
Like we have many sections.
Yes, we have many sections. For the act, we have many sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What Farihin just explained is section 3.
Section 3 for...
No, I mean how they categorize. This one should be in section 1.
I think it's just objective, function. Objective under what section? Function under what section?
They categorize only to all
Yes.
objective or
Yes.
function.
It's
Okay.
just being categorized under section.
So
Am
for
I
the
right?
section, we don't have any target for each section.
Yes. It actually have amendment, rationale for the each section, but it's too many.
I wonder how they actually classify the sections.
Okay, maybe we should learn that more. Okay, for the objective for the DNA data bank.
Continue please.
Okay, for the first objective is the primary objective of the DNA data bank is to keep and maintain the indices referred to in subsection, which is subsection 3 and number 3.
Okay.
Yes. For the purpose of human identification in relation to forensic investigation. For second objective is in addition to the subsection 1,
Subsection 1.
Okay.
the DNA profile and any information in relation thereto kept and maintained in the DNA data bank may be used in assisting the recovery of or identification of human remains from a disaster or for humanitarian purpose, and the identification of living or deceased person. Okay, the function of the DNA data bank is called under section 5. function is to store the DNA profile and any information in relation thereto from any forensic DNA analysis carried by Chemistry Department of Malaysia or Forensic Laboratory of the Royal Malaysia Police. Okay. And another section is section 8. Is it okay if I skip the section?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
okay.
Okay, for section 8 is the function and power of the head of the DNA data bank. The function is first, the head of DNA data bank shall have the following function, which is A, responsible for the general conduct, administration and management of the DNA data bank, and also to establish mechanism to facilitate the collection, storage and dissemination of DNA in connection with DNA profile and any information in relation thereto stored in the DNA data bank. Next is to ensure the DNA profile and any information in relation thereto are securely stored and remain confidential. Next is to store and dispose of the intimate sample and non-intimate sample. And other is to cooperate with foreign law enforcement agency and carry out any function conferred by or under the Act and to perform any other function. Which is it means that the function of DNA head of DNA data bank is store, establish the mechanism, dispose, cooperate with other foreign law. Is the simple word. And the function of the head of the DNA data bank is for the connection or incidental to the performance of his function under this act.
So, actually, going back to Mira Hamim question just now, you said what is section actually. So, in my opinion, I think the section is actually when someone doing some some crime. So it will fall under what section they did the crime. So for my part under section 3, it means that when person it's actually when person misuse this DNA information, so they will be sue under this section. So when we are said just now the function of head data bank. So when the head of data bank doing something illegal from sample, so they will sue under that section. So I think it's like that.
It's actually for the section. Section 1, what? The name of the act. Section 1. Section 2 is the interpretation of the act. Section 3 is what? What is section 3? Establishment of the data bank. It means if other person doing the crime, it actually fall under the section 3, because crime is divided into several under section 3. Okay, I think that's all.
And what I understood is the same what this is actually.
Actually, for this section we have for this act we have 11 section. No. Wait. We have 27 section.
That's okay, we don't want.
But for this question, we have the section that we have told is actually yes, related into the second question.
So I'm going to state about the advantages of the DNA database in Malaysia. Well, actually in Malaysia, our DNA database or DNA data bank, I got this from Malaysian Bar Council
Council,
Human Rights Committee.
Human Rights Committee. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, so the advantages of our DNA database is that actually the facilities were up to date and were according to international standard. And it also helped in solving cases such as brutal rape and murder of Kenny Ong and Nur Zaili Mokhtar, which the DNA got from the DNA data bank because of the previous crime. So and then it also helped in exonerate suspects who are not guilty. Exonerate means that how you say, exclude someone that is not guilty, help them. So and it's also useful in criminal investigation, especially from collecting sample, but from convicted offenders and suspect. And it speed up investigation if there is no lead by quickly match the offender's DNA profile. Means there is no, we don't have enough evidence to show them, just we have the DNA profiling. So and then also able to link previous crimes or cases of the suspects and offenders. And the advantages of this DNA database in Malaysia is that it's actually being protected by authorized police only. So I think that's all from my part. Proceed to the challenges.
I'm going to continue. Yeah, I just want to highlight what Alia have told you just now. The advantages for the what is the name? The first name?
Nur Zaili Mokhtar.
Susanna Malta is actually being debated during 2008. So probably there have been any updated information nowadays, right? So I take the same information from the Malaysian Bar Council Human Rights Committee. So I will brief about the challenges in DNA data bank in Malaysia. So according to the Sunday Star that has been debated, Malaysia has actually a good DNA profiling and other that, but actually it lacks in terms of DNA data bank in Malaysia. So the function of DNA data bank is that for purpose of law enforcement, just Farihin and Zuriati said just now, and help to solve more cases at much faster rate. So the challenges that have been debated, I will mention only a few of them, not all. It's like that all means necessary and in terms of refusal criminalized. According to the clause 13 in bracket 7 state that a police officer may use all means necessary to take a sample which does not exclude the use of force. But the challenges is that the suspect probably refuse to give their DNA, which is make it more difficult to make comparisons for the crime. And so under clause 14 state that anyone who refuses to give a sample is committing an offence. So for if in England, for example, the refusal is not an offence, but does amount to an adverse inference of guilt. So actually, these when persons or suspect refuse to give their DNA, it's difficult to make comparison, right? So currently, the profile that we have just now only can be accessed from casehood, previous casehood comparison. So if only if the police submit official written request. So if not, to make a direct comparison, if no suspect, the case remain unsolved. So for if the DNA profile we want to link to other cases, same thing, police need to specifically request. And then they have to manually go through the files because actually Malaysia does not have a computerized data bank. So that's the one of the challenges for the data bank in Malaysia. If linked to other data bank, they cannot do anything unless they have a specific report number. The same thing with if they have the suspect, they can have the specific report number. So if they don't have the suspect, so there's then nothing they can do. Yes, other than that, these major issues with the DNA identification is what in terms of white categories. There are categories of people whose sample can be taken are to white and are arbitrary. under clause 12, sample from detainees such as those held under the Internal Security Act (ISA) or the Emergency Ordinance (EO) can be taken. Additionally, the police can take the sample of those it reasonably suspect of having committed crime. However, in some countries such as Canada, samples can only be taken if there is other evidence linking to the suspect of the crime. It means that if we have enough evidence that seems that the suspect probably do the crime, so we can take the sample from it. If not, we need to find more evidence. Seems like when we want to withdraw a warrant, right? We must have enough evidence to that. So actually, the challenges we doesn't have a good data bank.
So actually, we can only take sample from victims, offenders, and suspect to be put into data bank.
Yes.
So other people, I mean the innocent.
So we cannot take the unless the person become one of the suspects.
Yeah.
You can just because they have actually like you say not law enforcement clauses that right to their privacy. So this the samples should not take away an individual rights to privacy. So the privacy actually protect them. So if we want to take the sample from them, we must have enough evidence.
Also, in case of the how to say this, when a person already convicted a certain crimes, so and their maybe samples of DNA already profiled in the DNA database in Malaysia. So in a certain after a certain times that there's a certain same cases, so the same maybe we can check on the database for the same person.
Yes, but they still have to manually go through because we don't have what in
Library.
Yes,
How about when a crime is committed? So there is a suspect, victims and offenders, right? So if the three of them actually are not involved in that crime, but the other person doing that committed that crime. So how do we find that person?
that is the issue.
Yes,
That's the issue. They can actually take the sample from them, but if that person themselves doesn't want to give their samples, so they cannot do anything. So that's make it hard for the police to make comparisons.
It actually quite hard to find. But when we see when we watch CSI, it's quite simple thing, but actually
Just like the Darman just said right now, from the video that we have seen, all of the CSI that we have seen from just a movie is not necessarily true because it's actually much harder.
Actually, here I have a point which is refusal to give sample. If a person from whom non-intimate sample is to be taken under this act, the act that I already told, it should be liable to a fine not exceeding to 10,000 ringgit or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 1 year or more. Which is mean they can pay for that if they refuse to give the sample.
They have to pay fine.
Yes.
It's like how they
That's how the law protected.
it's like how they want to pay bail out from the jail.
Yes.
but you cannot find the true.
True, yes.
Then
it's-
the
it's
case
hard.
will be unsolved.
Unsolved.
Yes.
Or maybe the innocent one will be blamed.
Of course. Just like the video that we watched before.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, I think we will end our discussion here.
Yes.
Because it seems like much.
Yeah. Okay.
Longer than expected.
Okay, thank you everyone and thank you for watching. Bye.